welcome to my channel. Here we have a crazy tool. A solved problem, as it says. It's solved. This is a solved at last. This is an escapement tool that really does the work and leaves no part of it to be guessed at. Bad English. With this tool, both pallets can be set and all adjustments made as easily and in less time than it takes to put in a mainspring. Yeah, right. Explanation and direction for use. The Hillabolds pallet setter and escapement adjuster. So there's the photo on the left-hand side. There's the actual tool right here. And it seems like it's missing a few things if I look at it very carefully. But that's the tool right there. So it says this tool is used in conjunction with a depthing tool shown in cut number 1. I'm assuming that's this here. Cut number 1. Perhaps a few words in regard to the principles upon which the various parts of the detached lever escapement, and then the words are hidden. The escapement something will make it easier understood by those who have not made a close study of them. In most watches, the lever is designed to have 10 degrees of angular motion. Ooh, it is it? But some of the better grades have only 8. How to determine which watch has 8 or 10 will be explained further on. The operation of this tool is based upon this angular motion of the lever in the escapement. With an angular motion of 10 degrees, the lever will move 6. No, I'm not sure. Degrees each side of line of center. That is a line passing through the balance and the lever staffs. When the lever has moved, I think that's a 6, might be a 5. 6 degrees, maybe it's 5. 5 degrees from center, the escape wheel tooth should just pass the opposite pallet, and the engagement tooth should strike on the locking face of the other pallet. The amount of lock is usually 1 to 1.5 degrees, but this will vary in different grades of watches. The more accurately the watch is made, the less lock will be required. When the tooth passes the pallet, the ruby pin should just pass out of the notch in the fork of the lever, and the guard pin should just clear the edge of the roller. They're right there. Now this is all very simple and easily understood, but the parts are so small, the measurements are so minute, and the difficulty of getting a clear view of these parts when in the watch is so great that it is impossible to make an accurate adjustment of them without the use of some measuring instrument of greater accuracy than anything is so far designed for this purpose. I claim that this escapement tool, that with it a workman can take all of these measurements and make the adjustments as accurately, as easily as a carpenter can measure feet and inches with a square. The manner of using this tool is as follows. To adjust the pallets of the right angle escapement, this escapement tool is placed in a depthing tool. This, my friends, is a depthing tool that came with this. It needs a bit of work on it, by the way, but it's a depthing tool. So this is placed in a depthing tool as shown in cut number 1. I love the term cut number 1. This thing was patented in February 7th, 1905. Cut number 1. Now, Houdini was just learning magic around then. Now the upper points of the depthing tool are set to the same distance apart as the pivot holes in the lever and escapement wheel are in the plate of the watch. So set to the same distance apart as the pivot holes and lever and escapement wheel are in the plate of the watch. So that means this here is turned this way and this way so that the distance between these is the same as you'd see in the plate of a watch. I may have to get a plate of the watch out to have to actually do this. So we'll just keep reading on here. I should have probably tried it out before making this video, but what the heck, we're going to go live here. Now the upper points of the depthing tool labor escapement are, okay, sorry, it doesn't matter. Okay, it is not accurate for all adjustments based on it will be inaccurate to the same extent. Okay, after properly taking the depthing, we place the lever and escapement wheel in the tool as shown in cut number 1. That cut number 1 is pretty famous. With the pin on the side of the arm pushed into the notch of the fork of the lever and firmly fastened with the screw on the side. So I don't know whether this has the side screw on it. So I think it's missing a few things actually, this tool. But let's read on here. The arm of the tool is now set at 5 degrees from 0. In this position, the tooth of the escape wheel should just pass the opposite pallet. If it does not pass, the pallet is out too far. If it will pass before the arm is moved 5 degrees, it is not out far enough. All right. The other pallet is examined the same way with the arm set at 5 degrees on the other side of 0, right? This paper is so long it's hard to read this while I'm looking at my camera. To adjust the pallets when they are not right, the arm is set at 5 degrees and fastened there with a screw on its underside. The slide of the arm is loosened and pulled back from the fork of the lever, and the clamp screws on the depthing tool that holds the center rod is loosened enough so that the tool may be turned by the knob on its lower end. Then by turning the knob to the left, the plate will be raised until the small circle on the plate comes in contact with the lower side of the pallets. Care should be used not to raise the plate too high, for by doing so the countersink in the end of the rod will be forced away from the lower pivot of the lever. Push the pin on the slide on the arm into the notch in the fork of the lever again and fasten it. Now by holding the projecting end of the plate. Okay, blah 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 blah. I give up. You guys can do a screenshot of this thing, but oh my god. So the tool without the depthing tool is $3. The depthing tool is $2.25 extra. Order from your jobber. For sale. So that's the tool there. So if I look at this tool here, just get a close-up of this tool. Can I get a close-up of this tool? There's the tool there. Now what I can't figure out is how the hell you use it. I think there's a locking mechanism missing. So if I look at this tool here, where these two holes are here, I think there is absolutely a locking mechanism that's missing. I think it would be going on the other side, and it would be used to line up this 0 right here. So that's kind of where that would be, and it's not there. It's missing. Right? So this thing is, I think, marginally useless because of that. Now I think that maybe that the depthing tool here, the pins go through here, but I'm not sure what lines up here. So if anyone's ever used this tool, please let me know. I know this does this and this, right? But I can't lock or unlock anything the way this tool is currently sitting. So I may have been ripped off buying this thing because it looked really good. The article in the newspaper is pretty cool, I gotta admit. And this is an original piece of paper that's even darkened for the era, right? So this is something I need to find, put up on the wall somewhere because it's kind of cool with the tool, and just call it a day. But I think it is absolutely useless to use. And the depthing tool is fine. This is a spring in the back end of the depthing tool, and these go in and out like this, and you can use it to ensure that the gears mesh, that they mesh properly. So I'll have to clean this depthing tool up. I already had a depthing tool, so now I've got two depthing tools. And I'm going to do some work on this depthing tool, clean it up and make sure it works properly. But based on the instructions here and the condition of this tool, I think I'm shit out of luck. I think that's what the technical term is. SOL. I'm looking at this diagram though, and I'm looking at where the lever, if I look down here and I see there's the escapement right there, and there is a device right here that's supposed to be part of this tool that's not in it, and I think this slides up and down here, and it's not available as part of this tool. And obviously the screw in the back here is not there, so it's missing a lot. Now I think the other side of the paper has got a diagram of this thing too. Alright, there's the diagram of the tool. So what it's missing is this device in the middle here, right, that interacts with the pallet fork. So that's of no use, right? And as you can see from this tool, from this perspective of this tool, the pallet fork would be resting right in the middle of the tool. So the tool, if I looked at this tool and the way it sits, it would sit like this. And sitting like this would mean that right in here would be the device that interacts with the pallet fork. And then sliding down here would be the would actually, yeah, that would be the this wheel here, right, the escapement wheel. So, and patent number 2, I think this is page number 2 or something. It can't be number 2 patent, but 1905. I'm gonna have to look up the patent for this, because this here pallet fork then should rest right in the middle. But I don't like the fact there's nothing there for it to rest on in the middle. There's absolutely nothing. And this is raised up on this side here. It should be raised up for a reason. But there's nothing for it to rest on. So if I'm assuming that on one side, this tool, right, the arms here, one of these arms here goes through the hole here to hold the pallet fork, right? The other arm has to go through here. One of these other arms goes through here to hold the escapement wheel, and then you use this here to go back and forth, right, to move the pallet fork left and right, the 5 degrees that they talked about, to watch the action here, and then you're adjusting the stones in the top, right, for lock and release, right? That's how this thing works. So I would have to make something out of brass that would sit in the middle and be attached like this, so that I could move this back and forth. And I'm not sure about the notch back here, what that would be used for, but I'm sure there's a use for it. So that's that, right? Anyway, that's the tool. So there we go. It's a bit of a vintage tool. I love the diagram here. This is really nice, but as it is right now, the tool is absolutely useless because it will not provide me the functions of locking this in place, even though I might be able to just move this slightly, but I likely wouldn't use it to measure the depth of the stones here on the pallet fork. So that's it for this video. Any comments, let me know. It's a crazy tool, and I may make something for this, or this might just become a museum piece. Not sure. Thanks again for watching my channel. I said I'd put this up today, and I did. And I'm sorry I didn't read all the rest of this, but you guys can do a screenshot and read the heck out of it. And I think I just figured out as an engineer how am I gonna adjust this properly, and what would I use it for, right? So, and this is from, yeah, Hobart. There is a patent number in here, but it's very hard to read. Yeah, patent. Oh, I don't know what it is. 8705, something like that. Canton, Kansas. So there it is there. Hobart patent. There's a number there, but I think it's just worn out. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.